Plates ready? This is Food School, Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Want to feel amazing, love the way you look in the mirror, and perform your absolute best in the gym, at work, and in life? You're definitely in the right place. Food, it's you. It builds every single cell of you. And if there is one thing every human being must master, it's food. Because at the very least, eating, you do it every day, several times a day, every single day. You might as well get good at it. I'm your host, Shurina from Create Yourself That Today, your personal nutritionist and plate watcher, your diet guide and explorer, your fat loss coach and food inspector. And just someone with a lot of passion and obsession and curiosity for healthy food, healthy diets, nutrition, optimized human performance, everything and absolutely anything you put in your grocery shopping cart, your fridge, on your plate, and in your mouth. It's my business. Food School, on a mission to help you eat better daily.
It's the last time I talk about food. It's the last time I talk about food.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Today we are talking about my favorite topics, nutrition and efficiency, or time saving. So yesterday on my Instagram, I shared this video of my top 3 cooking tips that I use pretty much daily to save time and to increase nutrition for each bite of food that you cook, and specifically for vegetables full of vitamins, minerals, but also to get some more nutrition from your meats and your healthy whole food fats, like for example fat from cooking your salmon, your favorite fatty fish, or even cooking your meats with good quality saturated fats, like for example when you cook your liver that I love cooking. Anyway, my top 3 tips that will sometimes give you as much as 100% of nutrition from your vegetables and your meats back when you cook. And if you don't know how to cook that, you're gonna lose your vitamins, your minerals, and then also you're gonna lose your money, because when you spend money on your food, you probably want to get some nutrients from that, especially if you invest in, local, organic, and all these fancy terms. You want to be getting as much nutrition as possible for each penny you spend on your food. And that is normal. We all want to not waste and lose things, but get more for what we pay, right? So, tip number 1 that I use almost every single day, because this food that I cook almost every single day, it's full of nutrients, and most importantly, it boosts your immune system. And I plan to talk more about our immune system and the importance of well-functioning immune system, not too reactive that reacts to everything, treating it as a threat, giving you all kinds of allergies and increasing your inflammation. So not too reactive immune system, but not too weak either, because then you're gonna get exposed to you do get exposed to all kinds of viruses and bacteria on a daily basis. And if your immune system doesn't know how to handle that, then you're gonna end up being sick and just feeling off all the time, and your life just not gonna be that as juicy, as energetic, as lively as it could be. So immune system is very important, and we're going to do more reading and more talking, more cooking for our immune system. But this particular food I cook almost every day has a lot of benefits when it comes to your immune system and also when it comes to your gut health. So garlic. Eat your garlic, guys. It's amazing for your immune system, but also it's great for your gut health, having prebiotic fiber that feeds beneficial gut bacteria. Garlic has a lot of antibacterial properties and a lot of other nutrition properties, but you only get to access them when you eat it raw or you know how to cook it. And the way to cook your garlic is, guys, you need to cut it, crush it, squeeze as much as possible out of it, and then leave it sitting without applying any heat to it somewhere out so it could react with oxygen. And only then, after sitting there squeezed and crushed for 10 minutes, no less than 10 minutes, and then cooking it, only then you can expect to get any kind of immune system benefits and health benefits from your garlic. Otherwise, if you just crush it and don't even crush it, just cook it whole cloves, in that case, you are not going to get any of the health benefits. So it's like throwing your money away or, just getting the flavor. And we want the flavor and the nutrition combined together. That's where you get the power of nutrition and the joy of eating delicious food. So you gotta crush your garlic and watch my Instagram video, my last Instagram video for the details, visual details. So you gotta crush your garlic and leave it sitting on some plate anywhere out for 10 minutes, and then you can cook with it. So what I usually do when I start cooking and prepping my vegetables and meats for the dish that I'm cooking, I crush my garlic right away and let it sit while I do the rest of the work. Sometimes when I'm really hungry and I come back home from my workouts, I just crush my garlic right away, and then I go and take a shower and do whatever I need to get done. And after that, I start cooking with my garlic, and it's all ready to go, full of benefits that I'm gonna get fully. So tip number 1, crush your garlic, let it sit for 10 minutes. Check out my Instagram video for the visuals. Tip number 2, I love cooking fast. Like my parents, my friends, they're really surprised how fast I can cook my super delicious and nutritious meals, usually consisting of some kind of animal food. Might be, organ meats like liver, might be fatty fish like salmon, might be chicken, might be bacon and eggs with a lot of vegetables. So 15-20 minutes, it takes for me to cook it. And of course, to cook it that fast, I usually get, my vegetables pre-cut, usually frozen, and I just in the morning take them out to get them unfrozen. And then also the same with my meats. I usually take them out in the morning if I plan to cook them later in the day. So besides all that, I put everything in one pan and cook it. Usually meat and animal products take a little bit longer to cook, and vegetables, when they're unfrozen, they take just a tiny bit of time. Something like 5 minutes is enough to get your vegetables al dente, or kind of like half cooked. That's the way you want to cook your veggies if you want to get the most nutrition and also increase the digestibility of the vegetables, because a lot of fibers, your stomach, especially in things like cabbages, like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and also greens, hard greens like collard greens, kale, Swiss chard, but even spinach. A lot of the fibers, and to access the nutrients in those plant foods, a lot of the fibers are not really digestible that wet with our digestive system. So cooking them for 5 minutes is actually probably perfect way to have them done and eat them. But back to our tip. So I love cooking efficiently everything in one pan. But the thing is, meat, again, liver, fish, they have slightly different times of cooking, but still, all of it has a little bit longer cooking time than your vegetables. So the way to preserve nutrition in your vegetables and not to overcook them is to put them in your pan later. So what I did yesterday, for example, again, you can see the visuals in my Instagram video. I put the liver, chicken liver that I was cooking in a pan for 10 minutes on high heat, because liver needs high heat to be cooked perfectly. And those fat-soluble vitamins in liver are heat stable, meaning it's okay to apply heat for a little bit longer for those vitamins compared to water-soluble vitamins like vitamin C or B complex that are a little bit more fragile when it comes to temperature. So what I did is I put my liver in the pan for 10 minutes before putting in my vegetables. And also, how long your meat cooks depends on the pieces. I try to have smaller pieces of animal foods or thinly sliced, so it takes a less amount of time to cook it, and that way you also get more nutrients the less time you cook it. So small pieces. I put my liver in the pan for 10 minutes, and after that I added my vegetables that were already unfrozen and ready to go, and I also prepared my garlic in advance. I cut some onions also. I love my onions. And I also cut some mushrooms, some button mushrooms or cremini mushrooms, they also call them. So I had all my vegetables prepped, and after 10 minutes of my liver being cooked, I added my vegetables, I added salt, I added herbs and spices, and let it sit there with the liver. I also stirred it a little bit to distribute herbs and spices and salt evenly and to make juices of liver spread around. So I stirred it, I put it there for another 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes everything was done. So total cooking time 15 minutes, and it's really easy. I usually cook my liver doing something else in the meantime, and then just add vegetables and sit doing something else for another 5 minutes, and after 15 minutes everything is cooked. And the most nutrition in your vegetables is saved. You do not want to overcook them, and that's the reason why you put them the second or the last after all the other ingredients, animal product ingredients, and other ingredients you might be putting besides your vegetables. Some of the vegetables are harder, like for example, if you do not cut thinly, carrots or maybe some sweet potatoes, they might also require a little bit more cooking time. So you would want to put it probably a little bit earlier than all of the vegetables that are cooked really fast. So you probably first put your meat, and then you put your potatoes or carrots, those harder roots, and then the last you put your green and colorful vegetables that are really fast to cook. All the leaves, like maybe spinach or kale, they really require like 2-3 minutes of cooking time. Mushrooms also do not cook for long. Onions you probably would do, especially if you don't cut it really thinly, you would want to cook a little bit longer. But anyway, vegetables, don't cook them for long, otherwise you're gonna lose a lot of that vital nutrition. That was tip number 2. For visuals, again, refer to Instagram video. And my top cooking tip number 3 is bottoms up. What it means is usually you have some liquid when you cook your meats and your vegetables left in your pan. A lot of you might not know that a lot of especially water-soluble vitamins like vitamin C or, for example, vitamin A in the form of beta-carotene or vitamins B complex, so B1, B6, B3, all those vitamins are water soluble, and also a lot of healthy fats, like for example, if you cook your salmon, a lot of that fat you might find floating in that liquid that is left, so it's also leaked out. So all those, really great for you essential omega-3 fatty acids that you want to get from your salmon, they leak into that liquid, plus all the vitamins, plus minerals, like for example potassium. There is a lot of potassium in your mushrooms. That's why I love my mushrooms. They low carb, low calorie, a lot of potassium, and plus prebiotic fiber that is super great for your gut. So a lot of it goodness will leak into the liquid too. So you might think that you're getting a lot of potassium when it's all leaked in your liquid. The same goes, for example, when you eat spinach, your potassium goes into the water. And if you get rid of that water, guess what? You just threw away most of the nutrients in your vegetables. If you boil it, that's probably the the way how you lose the most of nutrition from your vegetables. And a lot of meats, if you throw away water and don't make any kinds of broth or soup that you consume later from it. So what you want to do is to consume that liquid. I usually take out all the stuff, that is solid on a plate, and then I put all my liquid. If I want to drink it right away, I put it in a bowl and just drink it after my meal, at the end of my meal, or I can store it to drink for later as some sort of broth, vegetable broth, or meat and fish and vegetable broth, depends what ingredients I use. And I always consume that liquid. Now, some people ask me, but aren't there some harmful, leftovers from your food, or some dirt from your vegetables? And I'm like, wash your food before you cook it, guys. And that way, everything that is left in that liquid is going to be good for you. So tip number 3, bottoms up. Save that liquid, drink it. A lot of the flavor actually stays in that liquid. A lot of salt, a lot of herbs and spices, a lot of juices from your meats and your fish and your vegetables. It's actually usually pretty delicious, and it's like super delicious. And if that ends up being, too salty or too spicy, you can always add a little bit of warm water, dilute it, and drink it like that. So that is my top nutritious cooking tip for you to save the most amount of nutrition from all the foods that you cook. So to recap this episode and inspire some more cooking, guys, don't forget to check my Instagram video. You can also find it on YouTube. So go to my Instagram, the link you can find in the show notes, and check it out. To sum it up, tip number 1, crush your garlic at the beginning of your cooking. Let it sit for 10 minutes before adding any heat to that. If you plan to eat it raw, just chew it well and you're good to go. But I also actually advise to crush it and then eat it raw, because first of all, a lot of the goodness might be destroyed by your digestive juices. Second of all, a lot of you guys do not chew your food that well. So crush your garlic, let it sit for 10 minutes, and then eat it or cook with it. Tip number 2, add your vegetables last to your cooking to preserve the most nutrients, because a lot of nutrients in your vegetables are really fragile, especially when it comes to temperature. And if you overcook them, you're just gonna lose up to 80-90% of the nutrition. That's how bad it can get. So, and especially, if you're someone who does a lot of frying or high heat cooking of vegetables, understand that you destroy most of the goodness in those vegetables, and you might be eating a lot of deep fried broccoli, but you're not getting a lot of nutrition in that for sure. So add your vegetables last to your cooking, and depending on the hardness of the vegetables, hardness of fibers, different kind of vegetables require different cooking time. Like, for example, something like raw and thick carrots or sweet potatoes will require a little bit more time, probably twice as much, if not 3 times, depends also how you cut it, more time than, let's say, kale or spinach. Those are really tender vegetables. So put your meats, your fish first, or whatever requires more cooking, and then add your vegetables and eat them al dente, like Italians like to say, or basically half cooked and still crunchy. That's the perfect way to eat your vegetables for the highest digestibility and the highest amount of nutrients from your cooked vegetables. And by the way, guys, the longer you store your vegetable, the less nutrients they're gonna have. So if you're someone who cooks once a week, understand that every hour passing your vegetables have less and less nutrients, because oxygen does not preserve your food well. So this is tip number 2, cook your vegetable last. And tip number 3, bottoms up. Drink up that liquid that is left from cooking your vegetables and your meats. A lot of vital nutrition leaks into that liquid. So if you don't plan to make some kind of soup from it, drink it right away or leave it as broth or stock for later. And again, a lot of nutrition is being destroyed if you store it, so try to consume it as fast as possible. And that's it for today, guys. Don't forget to check out my Instagram video. It was fun cooking with everybody. Check out that. Start cooking like a nutrition pro. And till next time, as usual, eat better daily. And by the way, guys, if you have any questions about how to cook your favorite vegetable or your favorite meat for maximum nutrition, always feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, or through email, anywhere where it's convenient for you. So I'm looking forward to getting your questions. And again, till next time, eat better daily.